Hey, good morning. So, this is my favorite time of the conference because when I attend conferences, I always say to myself, after this speaker, I will be able to eat lunch already. So, maybe we can just spend another 10 to 15 minutes and I'll just discuss you what we offer in the desktop cloud solution to help you optimize your IT infrastructure. We have so many things that we can consider. Okay, next slide. And right now we're going to tell you something about the challenges in the IT industry and how can we make it more agile and how can we make it more simple. For this one, the first challenge is how to make operations and maintenance efficient and how to make mobility so simple. So the question right here is that yes, you have your infrastructure, yes, you have your hardware, you have your software, you have your application, you have your configuration files. How are you going to manage it? How are you going to make it more simple so that your business, the processes of your business, can go faster? So that's just one of the questions or one of the challenges that we're asking on you. Next challenge is that, what about information security? FBI and CSI mentioned that around 85% of security threats come from inside the organization itself. So they say that the hackers are lesser of a threat as compared to the people inside the organization. Why? Because they are the ones who can access your network. They are the ones who have the authority. They are the ones who are always using it on a daily basis. So we can say that we should really take care of our internal people. Another challenge that we can face or we want to ask is, how about your employees? How do they work every day? How about their working environment? Do they have enough space? Is it an eyesore or marami ba diyang mga things that are not needed for more efficient work? How about the energy consumption of the computers or the desktops that we're using? And how about, we can consider this also, the noise. Because as we know, the desktops or the PCs have moving parts like the fans and the hard disk itself. Okay, next. Next challenge is about resource utilization. For us, for companies like you who spend thousands or even millions of pesos for their IT infrastructure, have you asked yourself, if I spend this much, will I be able to utilize or use those machines this much also? Or am I just using it around, let's say, 4%, 10%? So where did your money go? So that's a simple question, really, that is worth talking about. Another challenge is, how can you simplify and speed up the desktop deployment? For enterprises or for companies that say they have 1,000 desktops, how many people will manage it? For 1,000 desktops, how are they going to install their email application, their HR application? Okay, their applications can be installed one by one or by a group of IT people, or it depends on if those persons belong to a certain group. For example, the HR group, the financial group, or in different kind of organizations. So one of the really challenges is, how are you going to make your IT people more efficient? And the last challenge that we're going to ask you is this one. How are you going to protect your investment? IDC said right here that in their research, for every $1 of hardware, the cost may need around $3 more to meet the operations and maintenance management. So in this case, we have a PC cost of 1,000 USD, and then we have an OMN cost of 3,000 USD. Your total cost of ownership for 3 years will will be around 4,000 US dollars. So that really is an expensive one, or an expensive thing to consider in terms of the total cost of ownership. So how are we going to solve these challenges? So we're going to introduce to you the cloud solution that we have, and next slide. Okay, this is, back please. Okay, so this is just the concept of the desktop cloud infrastructure. So what will happen is that you have your desktops, your local storage, your computing, and your applications will be moved in the data center. So that means you will have an infrastructure, a new infrastructure, wherein your storage, computing applications will be in the data center. The personal computers or the PCs will be replaced by what we call the thin clients. So yung matitira lang sa table ng mga employees will be just the monitor, the keyboard, and the mouse. Tatanggalin na natin yung mga desktops na malalaki, na nagko-consume ng space, nag-i-emit ng heat. Okay? And for a desktop cloud solution, hindi natin, we cannot take out of consideration yung paggamit ng virtual machines. Because for the desktops, we will just convert it into virtual machines. Those virtual machines are just like files, pero meron siyang processor capacity, meron siyang memory, meron siyang hard disk, and so on and so forth. Just like your regular desktop. Kaya lang, the virtual machines are in the form of a file. Okay? So what will be the advantages of having a VDI or virtual desktop solution? Number one is security. As we mentioned, we are going to remove the hard disk or the CPU itself. Where will the data reside? In the data center. In the data center, you can control more freely. The administrator can set policies para yung data, kayo yung magmamanage nun. Ano ba yung mga problems when the desktops are, using by employees, ginagamit natin yung regular desktop PC. For example, nag-crash yung desktop, the data, you won't be able to retrieve it anymore. But with a desktop cloud solution, we can add features like redundancy, high availability, para kapag nasira man yung machine, we can still get the information, which is very important to us. Another one is green. So everybody is going to the green technology. So with the use of a desktop cloud solution, the thin clients will just consume or about less than 60 watts per hour. And the noise will be reduced from 50 decibels up to less than 10 decibels. So that's just one of the advantages. Another one is flexibility. The one good thing about a desktop cloud is that you can decouple the operating system from the applications, from the configurations. That means that from the regular setup of a PC, when you have a PC, you have the OS installed. On top of that is the applications, and then the policies. When you apply a desktop cloud, you will have templates for OS, templates for applications, templates for policies. So just in case, for example, a new employee comes in, okay, he belongs to the HR group, I will just load the policies for OS, policy for application, and other policies for access rights to that employee. I don't have to reinstall everything. Not just like the one we do in the regular desktop setup. It will take the IT person about 2 to 4 hours, which is item number 4, in just completing a setup of one PC. But with a desktop cloud solution, it's around, the minimum is 3 minutes. It will not go more than 1 hour. Okay, so that's the fastest way we can serve our customers or our employees so that they can work faster. And for example, there are cases na, let's say in a school or in a regular office setup, an employee, nasira yung PC niya, So what he will do is just call the IT guy, and then the IT guy will say, I'll just determine first what caused the problem. So is it because of the operating system? Is it because of the application? Or is it because of the hardware itself? So with a desktop cloud solution, meron na tayong, we can say that we can have an automatic backup of the virtual machine of that employee. If a problem exists, he will just load the backup of the virtual machine, and then the employee can work again. So naiiwasan natin yung mga idle time din sa mga employees natin. Another one is mobility. With a VDI solution or desktop cloud solution, you can access your desktop whenever and wherever. That means even if you are using